going to talk about the prisoner's dilemma, aren't we? And
yes,
you're
yes.
going to explain to me, and me, I'm mortal, because I'm not a master in the art of negotiation, what the prisoner's dilemma is. But I do find the prisoner's dilemma, I mean, genuinely, I do find it really quite fascinating. Even when you're talking about it, I'm still slightly interested. And I'd love to know, you know, in a couple of minutes. And by the way, when I say a couple of minutes, I mean a couple of minutes, because I know what you're like once you've got the floor.
Luan, you said a couple of minutes 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the preamble. This is the warm-up, isn't it?
So, prisoner's dilemma, let's get serious. Prisoner's dilemma is a bit of a fiendish construct. It comes from the world of game theory. It's a measure of trust. There are lots of variations on it. But broadly speaking, a simple version of the game is, let's say we were playing the prisoner's dilemma together. All it is that you vote red or you vote blue, and I vote red or I vote blue, and that's all we do. If we both vote red, we both get £100. And we're both thinking, right, oh, that's really nice. £100 will do nicely for the kids' Christmas presents or whatever it's going to be for, right, I'll vote red. Except for...
Really?
Well, I would. I mean,
I suppose I would too, but I mean, you know what they're like these days, giving us anything like that.
I know. There are different versions of the game, and we're currently doing the cheap version of the game, and there are other variations. There are some where you get locked away for years, so that's why I tried to steer away from that type of version of the game.
I'm writing all this down, by the way, so red is £100, okay?
Red is £100. Now, so if we both vote red, we both get £100. But if one of us votes blue and one votes red, blue gets £200 and red loses £200. Yeah, well done. Good for taking notes, by the way. So we're both now thinking, well, I'm not going to vote red. I'm going to vote blue. It'd be silly to vote red. I'm going to vote blue. Except if we both vote blue, we both lose £100. So both vote red, both get 100. One votes blue, one votes red. Blue gets 200, red loses 200. But if we both vote blue, we both lose 200. Now, the reason why it's fiendish is because individually speaking, we are both incentivized to vote blue. No matter what I do, Luan, you would be better off voting blue. So you're thinking, right, well, I'm definitely going to be voting blue. It'd be stupid to vote red. But the problem is it's the same with me. And if we both follow our individual best strategies, we end up voting blue, and we're worse off. So what we've got to do is we've got to optimize our strategy globally rather than individually, if you like, and that is vote red. And if we both voted red, we'd both be better off each time, each round, because it's usually a multi-round situation. So each time we both vote red and we both be better off. But that relies on trust. We'd have a chat beforehand and say, well, look, we're obviously both going to be better off voting red. Should we do that? And we both say yes. We both shake hands. We both swear on each other's mothers' lives. We do that blood thing and everything. And we both agree we're going to vote red. But then I think, I'm not sure I can trust that Luan bloke.
No, well, I don't trust you. I mean, you're about as trustworthy as a snake. So
Exactly. See, there we go. And straight away, we're going down the blue. So it does require trust. And so it is quite a fiendish construct. What it's used for is as a measure of trust. We can given that it relies on trust, we can use it as a kind of measure of trust. And so a lot of research has been done using it to identify what factors increase trust and increased collaboration and what factors reduce trust and reduce collaboration. So it's very interesting.
Oh, it is, because if I don't trust you and you don't trust me, but we've got to trust one another, is there anything that you can do to actually force my hand?
So there are things that you can do to force your hand. Not always possible. Basically, so lots of there are things that you can do to force your hand. There's nothing that you can do to absolutely force you to be trustable and force you to vote red. But there are things that you can do to increase that. And a lot of research has gone into what increases the trustability of the other person, what you can do to increase the trustability of the other person. Broadly speaking, 4 things come out. Obviously, lots more to be said about each of them, but the highlights are: be trusting, be friends, be strong, and be smart. So be trusting. Basically, if you want them to be trustable, you've got to go first. And you've got to firstly be trustable yourself first. And you've got to show trust in them and lead with a trusting, trustworthy approach. And then they will typically respond in kind. And generally speaking, those people who do trust generally are better off. So trusting is a good thing in life to do in general. Secondly, be friends. So be trusting. Secondly, be friends. So build relationship. There is value in building relationship. If you think about it, you can trust your friends probably more than you can trust a stranger. I mean, maybe some friends, I use the word friends pointing to myself, maybe some friends that might not be so relevant with, and I don't know the rest of your friends, but generally speaking.
Can I just stop you there? You say the rest of my friends. Are you putting yourself in a friend category here?
Yeah, maybe there's another synonym, another word you might want to use instead.
Having that conversation. Not sure we're at that stage yet, but okay. I mean, I'm liking the fact that you're I see what you're doing. You're offering something. You're being trusting by showing.
Exactly. I'm going first, Luan. I'm going first.
You're smarter than you look. Yeah.
I know, which isn't saying much. I appreciate. But so be trust. What have we said? We said be trusting, be friends.
I lost quite a while.
You weren't listening. Hey, you were supposed to be taking notes. Can't you go back to your notes and tell me what I just said?
No, I've just forgot. All I've written down is milk, flour, eggs, and cereal.
Yes. And that's just for the dog. So be trusting, be friends, be strong. So we're saying be trusting, be friends, but we're saying, let's not be naive here. The world isn't quite as Garden of Eden like as we would like it to be. Such is our species. We can't trust as much as we would like to. So be strong, and that strength, and kind of project strength, project power, etc. Not so that you use that power. We're not saying force things through just because you can, be tough, etc. But what we're saying is kind of the stronger you come across, the more collaborative that other person is likely to be. It kind of makes sense. I often say it's amazing how collaborative the other person is if you've got a bigger army than them. So that they will be collaborative if you've got a bigger army than them. So build that strength, not so that you use it, but so that you don't have to use it, if that makes sense. And then lastly, be smart. So again, we're saying let's not be naive. So that there is this idea of trust but verify. Do trust but have the verification procedures in place, have the contractual agreement, blah blah blah. And it is those verification procedures that enable the trust to take place, because they know they're going to be checked, kind of thing. So they're more likely to be trustable because they know they're going to be checked.
Well, that's great. I really enjoyed that. I genuinely did. It's about the first time you've ever explained anything that I've actually understood, or indeed listened to.
That's what I was going to say.
Yes, well, yeah, there is that. But we'll do it again. Let's do it again.
We will.